Who saw that coming then? Wednesday 1, Wigan 0. Real good performance, but a fantastic result. That is a result that is really going to lift them. We're on a decent run anyway. We're keeping them clean sheets, but when you beat a team that's up there, when you beat a team that's not lost a game for 3.5 months, when you get a result against them, that really starts bringing out that self-belief, and you could see that in passages of Wednesday's play tonight. Anyway, the game. One change from the last match, and that was at centre forward. Same back three, same midfield, although we don't really have much choice there because of the injuries. The one change was up from Mendes Lang's been one of our best players this month. Came in. Here is a really exciting player who in this division has got the ability to tear people apart. But he's also an explosive player. You've got to be careful with those players with that pace. It's easy for him to burn out. He's not had a lot of football in the last 18 months, so you've got to be careful with him. With Wednesday's injury record as well and the list piling up, the last thing we need is to get another player having a burnout injury. We slag managers off when they put players in when they're not ready. Carlos with Kieran Lee, I mean I could have finished him. Pulis last season forcing Luongo out there on the park when he, not only was he not ready, I mean Pulis admitted he needed an operation. We can't have it one way and then have it the other, do you know what I mean? Darren Moores is rotating the front pair and making sure that people get a rest. Jack hadn't had a rest in the week. It's common sense management, and he needs credit for that. I actually thought Wednesday got out at blocks really, really quick, that opening first 5-10 minutes. Barry Bannon's running around like a lunatic with that Tasmanian devil spinning round pitch, and I actually think he had a bit of a sort of lull after about 10-15 minutes because I think he put that much in to try and get all the rest of the lads going. I think it would a bit like when you were young and your cousin had too many E numbers and then but he grew back into the game. But fantastic start from Wednesday, high pressure, and I thought that was the best way to go at this game. As I said before the game, it wasn't a free hit. It weren't a game, or Wigan are expected to win. But I thought it was a game we've got to take it to them. It's not a game where I think you can sit off and say, "Oh, come and have a go at us." We had to go at them and we did. I thought Liam Palmer had got one, didn't you? Come inside, great shot, fast stick. The way the keeper moved, it ended up being a routine save for him in end. But you know the way he moved his legs at first, I thought, even though it were lining up, he weren't expecting it to go there. So I'd have loved Liam Palmer to score a goal. He takes some right hammer. He's been here 300 games, and that is service to a club. But in this day and age, that's service to a club. I thought he had a decent game actually. But yeah, he had that early shot on time. The positive start for Wednesday. Story went close again with an header. Wednesday had a corner. It sort of broke down a bit. Hunt put a really good delivery in, and I do like Story. He gets up nice and early and directs his headers. And some people get up early and it just bounces off wherever. Get up. Andy Pearce, he used to get up and he could go anywhere, couldn't he? But Story's up, directing it, flicking it. I do like heading. One day it'll be gone from the game and everybody will lament it then. Probably not players because they'll probably be able to remember what they were doing when they were younger, but it's a part of the game I do love to see. A great diving header at one end and a good defensive header at the other end. But yeah, like that Story a lot. This is another game where he just looks like an absolute natural fit in this team. They did actually have ball in net in a what had become a bit of a scrappy game after about 15-20 minutes. Very, very fast start from Wednesday. Then I thought it went a bit scrappy. They had ball in net. It hit the post. I thought it was a goal, and then I see it flag. I didn't know if he'd seen like an handball or something at first because initially, there's an offside. Even as balls getting stroked into net, usually you know, don't you? Or you've got an idea yourself, and you're looking at liner before it's even been struck because you think, oh, here we go. That goal of theirs, I didn't really see it. I think it's because it hit post I think, and you get that angle. But that was a warning shot that these are a dangerous side, and they have been a side on a very good run. On the balance of play, I thought Wednesday had the first half. They got a couple of decent players in there. I thought that Shinnie was quite busy. Udi later moved into midfield. I thought he was a useful player. Niggly player, so that I'm watching him and wanting to give him a scudge. Do you know what I mean? He was one of them, but he was a useful player at right full back and later when he moved into midfield. 0-0 at the break, and overall, I think you'd probably say that was about a fair reflection. Wednesday had the better of the opportunities, but again, a lot of half opportunities. There's a cross goes in at one bit, it misses Patterson's head by an inch. Canberra's behind it, misses his head by an inch. They both throw sends that ball one after another. Johnson's in at back trying to slide, he misses his foot by an inch, and it's. But Wednesday are, I think, on top at that stage. So getting at half time 0-0, and you've got to be happy with that. We're on course here for the fourth game on the spin with a clean sheet, and anything that you can do from the base of a clean sheet, as far as I'm concerned, is brilliant. Second half, you wonder how it's going to go, because there's always that thing, two teams are up there. Are they going to settle for it? There's been cagey moments in the game. Are they going to settle for it? But I didn't think they did. I thought Wednesday come out and showed a real intensity straight away in second half, which showed. There was a great opportunity. Byers gets the ball, plays it into, I think it was Bannon. Carried on his run. So important. So good to watch as well. It's really good football for when not only are they coming out and showing a real intensity and desire to attack, which is always great to see anyway, but they're doing it playing some decent stuff. So Byers is winning, he knocks it out, but he carries his run on. So many times in football you see a player, he'll get the ball, he'll knock a decent pass, and then he'll just stand and watch it. If you look at almost any England team between 1998 and pre-2015, it's pass and watch. So frustrating to watch, horrible to watch really, but mainly frustrating. He knocks it in, he carries on his run, he stretches in behind, and okay, he gets doubled up on Byers, but he's been brave, he's got forward, he's attacked that space, then he uses his body really well. It turns out he's still got some, knocks it back. Bannon finds a little gap because they're trying to crowd Byers out, and Johnson gets in. Canberra flashes it wide at post. I think he can actually take a touch and then hit it. But if you watch him during the build-up, when the lads are building up down the left, he steps off to lose his man. And when the ball does come to him, I don't think he realises that his man didn't come with him. So he takes it first time because I think he thinks that bloke's come with him, but he hasn't. So he can probably have a touch and hit it, but he goes first time, and why not? And what I will say is, to strike that first time like that, I think that shows a sign of confidence, and that's what I was talking about in the last game, the game before that. Every time you win, the confidence in them players grows, and they're prepared to try things. If you're not feeling it, you don't have that first time shot there. Do you know what I mean? But he's like, well, I'll go for it. That's a great sign. 50 minutes, we take the lead. It's a lovely little sort of slide rule pass from Bannon. Luongo's running in. If you look at the angle, when the highlights will be out, but if you look at the angle, he's running towards the goal, but he's running towards their man. And I think it's clear in his mind he's going to go and try and engage him and try and get. I really do. It's only for a short distance, but I'd like to see it again. I think he runs. I think he can go that way, but I think he goes slightly that way, and I think he knows what he's doing. I think he knows he's going to try and to engage him and get past him rather than take an early shot. And it works because he does stick his foot out. Is it a soft penalty? I don't know. There's a definite clash. He's going at speed, and to be honest, if that were at the other end, I'd probably go, well, yeah, pen. Bannon steps up, fantastic penalty, right into far corner, into side netting almost. I was on 10 trucks, so I'm nervous because I've got a theory that anyone who knows me over a number of years will tell you anyway, that I've bored them all to death with it. My theory about left-footed penalty takers who are right-handed as opposed to left-footed, left-handed penalty takers. I'm not a huge fan of lefty penalty takers, but that's a great strike right in the corner. It's a confident strike. There's no hesitation. There's no stupid bleeding run up. I mean, it's every time there's a World Cup, Sunday League game, that stupid run up does mine up. Straight up, strikes it clean. Wednesday one up and full of beans. They've mixed it about a bit. Like I said, that Power, who was the right back, he seemed to be in midfield second half, and bit of a niggly get. There's a few tussles with him and Patterson. Patterson giving away a few daft free kicks actually. Worked his socks off though, by the way. It put an absolute shifting. By the end, he were completely bollocksed. Bit like me. Full shift, completely bollocks at the end of it. Patterson gets booked actually for the nothing tackling end, and I can only presume it was for an accumulation of daft tackles. He'd done some worse ones than the one he got booked for, and I think ref must have just been, nah then mate, not anymore, you know. Power got booked himself actually, you know what I mean? He were another one he were chucking his way, but Andy played him. He were an Andy. I thought he was their best performer, to be honest with you, probably in both positions. And I liked him, but it was a niggly get. But I could see one of them players that if he played for you, you'd be like, yeah, he's a niggly get. You know what I mean? I quite liked him. He got booked eventually because he would at it for a good 40 minutes in that stretch over from end of first half into second half. A real niggly get, but a decent player. It's about 70 minutes. Wednesday have played some really good football. Byers is having a really good game. His passing's really good. It's on point. Luongo's winning his tackles. That balance of them three in that midfield is the best I've seen all season from it, and it's been the same the last few games actually. But despite that, and I don't know whether it's because we've got the goal, from about 70 minutes on, there's that little bit we're just dropping that little bit further back, and we did it in first half. There were a lot of those, I don't like them, a lot of those what I call floaty balls. The floaty ball. Don't mind a floaty ball into the box if you've got runners coming in from 20 yards deep, get up there. But when they're straight down pitch floaty balls, it's so hard for centre forwards to do anything. I thought Canberra and Patterson battled gamely with that, but a lot of them little floaty balls, and thought we were just dropping a little bit deeper and deeper, and I think we just needed to go and engage a little bit higher. So there was probably 65 to maybe 75 minutes. I thought, oh, here we go. They brought a winger on at right hand side, Hussey, something like that. He looked quite like that. If I were Edgaff, I'd have been looking at bringing him on earlier. I thought he was quite useful, but they kept getting opportunities, throw-ins. Wednesday getting a toe in. They're doing some good defending actually. Wednesday, it's not all blockbuster tackles and real physical matches. Sometimes it is literally just getting a toe in, and these are daft things that go a long way in a game. Somebody's almost past you and you can just toe it out for a throw on by a few seconds. It all adds up to a winning performance. It's not always about playing great football, although we did play some really good football in patches. It's about winning games, whatever you need to do. And I could name 7 or 8 players who've done that, just literally got a toe in. Not a Adam Reach dangly leg toe. I mean, a proper full stretch, got a toe to it and nicked it away. But they seemed very unwilling to try and get ball into our box from a throw. I don't know what that was about. It wasn't until probably the last 5 minutes they actually tried to hurl one in there, which bizarre. There is a lot of this thing these days about anything that's long. Ooh. Get it in mixer. I'm not that bothered. Canberra got withdrawn towards it. I thought he'd put another really busy shift in. Him and Patterson. I thought Patterson probably worked harder at to and looked more like he was the one who were fading, actually. I'd have probably done it the way around, but the manager spotted it. He wanted to change something. Brought Mendes Lang on. And again, you could see the fear with the pace that he's got. Although their left-sided fullback, whose name escapes me, he actually did brilliant at one bit. Mendes Lang put afterburners on. And that kid matched him all the way. I was like, bloody hell, he's rapid. He went on one fantastic run. I thought he'd lost control of the ball, and then he sort of kept it, beat 3 men, and managed to prod a ball into the box. And it was just great play. He's that sort of... I'm looking at him and I'm just thinking, is he having that little bit of an Antonio effect on this side? Do you know what I mean? You just start... He's galvanised the attack a little bit. Oh, okay, we need to start putting 1 or 2 more chances away, but I think he's becoming that little spark player. Do you know what I mean? I talked about it in that video that I did about the spines. Strong keeper, centre half, centre midfield, centre forward, and there's always that one player that you can add to that spine that just gives you. And I think that could be him this year, Mendez-Laing. Oh yeah, we're talking about Mendez-Laing and this run he did. He looked like he'd lost control of the ball, but he managed to weave in and get, and he ends up getting past 3 players somehow. And their lad comes flying out. I think it was Kerr. Fantastic block, really, really good defending. You know, last ditch, but really good. That ball went out to Bannon. Fantastic dipping effort. I think that probably deserved. That's another hand stinger. Probably deserved a goal for that. And the fading Patterson, he hammers a 25-yarder in, which were ambitious. If he's hit that with an old-fashioned Marta Delta, it probably goes in top corner, but with these shoot 50p flyaway balls that they use these days, you know, I think there was a chance it were going to go wide. But that all come, that move, with Patterson's shot, heavy-legged as well by the head, he put a right shift in, bless him. It all come from a right tackle from Luongo. I'm not sure if it were on that power, but he turned with ball. He was just trying to get head up, and he was just in. Oh, it was a right tackle. I love it. That's still one of my favourite things in football. A right hard tackle. I love that. That and a good header. I am a dinosaur, aren't I? Actually, but well, never mind. Love it. They got another little spell. I would say maybe from 80 minutes on, probably. We sort of started squeezing a little bit, then we started looking tired again, and there's 1 or 2, we're trying to clear lines and balls screwing off left, right. I think one of them almost went straight up in air, and they're having that little spell of pressure, which they'd helped with at one bit when their lad goes flying in over on our right, their left. It's the most blatant foul on Story that you're probably going to see this season. I'll never know in a million years that referee has not seen it. Or he's seen it and decided, well, fuck it, it's only Wednesday, or whatever. It's 100%, it's blatant. Anyway, I know it's not in a danger, I know it's not in penalty box, I know he's not giving a penalty against us, but it's just a blatant foul on Story. It's so annoying when you see things that blatant. Standard of refereeing in this division is shite, but something that obvious. Great win. Wednesday ahead, but that rate annoyed me. It's still annoying me now because it's so... How can they not see? In fact, they can see. They're just choosing for whatever reason to ignore it. I'm not going to talk about referees and ruin what has been a great day for Wednesday, a great result. There's a stoppage. Patterson gets absolutely clattered. Clattered by Peacock Farrell, actually, which again, just I'm having that nail. Patterson's rolling about on the floor, poor bastard. But it's again that sign of confidence at keeper that he looks like he's growing and growing, and he'll be growing and growing because clean sheet, clean sheet, clean sheet. I'm on for another clean sheet. It lifts and it inspires players like, well, all human beings actually, like these little sequences of things going right. Do you know what I mean? Clean sheet, clean sheet, clean sheet. He'll want to keep that going now. That'll come. There was like another spell of pressure right at the end of the game, probably 85 minutes, well into injury time, of which there were a fair bit. Wednesday just getting a little bit deeper again, and that's as nervous as I've been for about 2 months, I reckon, because with them being a decent side and us just dropping a bit, and like I said, you could see tired legs, folks half clearing it rather than getting Ada straight through it. So, but overall, I thought we were really resilient at back. Thought we stuck to task. But keeper were quite brave. He were coming for stuff, looked solid, looked confident. And even then, we were still having these little patches where we'd break and play some really good football on counter. And speaking of good football, I've got to mention George Byers. I thought he was absolutely fantastic tonight. Absolutely fantastic. I thought Bannon was good, especially second half. Luongo did his usual. There were a lot of good performances tonight. Probably fourth match on spin where I'm like, oh, man at match. Yes, a lot of contenders. Whereas the last match it was a lot of contenders and it was very close. So for me tonight, I don't think it was close. I thought George Byers was absolutely brilliant. Earlier in the season, I described George Byers as being a bit milky, and I can remember especially that game down at Plymouth, where I thought, so that being good on ball, but you've got to do other stuff. You've got to earn the right to play. And today, I thought he was absolutely brilliant. I know he scored 2 goals in his last 2 games. That's fantastic. You want midfield players with that edge, a goal-scoring edge to him, but it's more than that. It's more than that for me, anyway. And today I just thought he was brilliant. Everything he did. Easily my man at match. His passing were good. His short passing, his long passing. He's always got his head before ball comes. You can just see him. He's just like, then ball comes, touch, pass, switch. I thought he looked after the ball better individually today. I don't mean looked after the ball better passing wise, because I thought the last 3 games he's looked after the ball really well in terms of his passing and keeping the possession for us. Good possession as well, by the way, not possession playing somebody into trouble with an hospital ball, but at least you've got your pass completion, not that sort of pass it, but I mean quality possession football, giving it to someone who's in a good position to receive it, and it's that little is always aware. A lot of good switches of play. Long passing, short passing. I don't think he's best header of a ball, but he's getting up. He's won some headers today. He's won his share of headers. When he's not won them, he's got up there and been physical enough to put their lads off. But yeah, he looked after the ball when he'd actually got it at his feet. So I don't think he's the most physical of lads, but he was being clever with the way he used his body. Really good today. That is... I said about Marvin Johnson in the last game, it was the best game I've seen from Marvin Johnson. Today's undoubtedly, even though he scored that brilliant 20-odd yarder other week, this, for me, undoubtedly his best game since he came to the club. Just everything he did. Tackles, slide tackles. Those toes that I was on about earlier, full stretch, just getting a toe just as their lad's about to pull trigger or put a cross in or try and make a little through ball. Them little toes just getting outside and getting a foot in. Fantastic today, George Byers. Really, really good. Sometimes I have to think about man at match. Not today. Not today. A lot of good performances from Wednesday players, but I thought he was superb. Actually, I seen a thing earlier on Twitter. Somebody said, thought Byers had a really good game, but I can't really explain why. But I think I can. It's because it was an all-round midfield performance. He's not scored a 40-yard worldie. He's not been Glenn Hoddle with passing or whatever. He's not been Gattuso chasing around and ratting. But he's done a bit of everything that you expect from a central midfielder, and he's done them all really well. Won headers, good short passing, good long passing, movement, excellent movement both ways. Trapped back 30 yards in probably 87th minute. I won a brilliant slide tackle. 10 minutes before that, he's played that little 1-2 with Bannon and then drove on 20-25 yards to stretch the spacing behind them. I thought he's had a fantastic all-round midfielder's performance. Luongo, defensive midfield player, Bannon, little maestro. Byers has just added that. I'll do a bit of all of that. I thought he was fantastic today. A really, really top quality midfield performance. Really good. Hutchinson again, I want to give him a shout. I thought he was good today. There were a couple of errors in first half. The one where I thought he should have absolutely nailed his foot through it. But overall, just solid all over Wednesday. Really, really good. And then Cat on pitch. Cat on pitch, but dogs had some old fella's sneaked his dog in. Cat, just very random. It looked terrified and all, didn't it? I thought it was limping at one bit, but I think it would actually its colouring. I think it gave it a sort of shaded look, which made its leg look funny, like them old 1970s footballs that used to have like a half stripe on them. So when they were in the air, they looked like they were flat or like an egg. And you thought, is that bouncing right? And it's because the use of them striping it. I thought that cat's legs were a bit like that, actually. Deceptive. I thought he were walking with a limp when he probably weren't.